You guys know I'm a sucker for a good MOBA, and today I've got the most awesome collaboration for you. We're making a traditional 5-on-5 ranked match using your favorite Jujutsu sorcerers and putting them up against some of Honor of King's top heroes. But we're going to be doing things my way, and that means using actual feats and abilities from the lore of both series to determine the real winner of this brawl between sorcerer and legend. Thank you to Honor of Kings for sponsoring this video. Honor of Kings is a MOBA you can download right on your phone, giving you access to play as over 100 diverse heroes. And with the success of Honor of King's first collaboration with Jujutsu Kaisen, they've released a second phase for all new skins featuring Nobara Kugisaki and Megumi Fushiguro. You'll also be able to get the Kathy skin free for the hero Guguzi while participating in this event. From March 20th all the way to April 19th, jump into the high-quality collab featuring abundant rewards, the chance to score the Nobara and Megumi skins for yourself, and on April 1st, enjoy the all-new game mode Dreamscape Brawl that adds a fresh twist to player matches by transforming the team's base into a curse spirit that can join in on the battle. Download the game now using my link in the description or pinned comment to check out all the ongoing events and Jujutsu Kaisen exclusive skins now. For the purposes of this video, I needed to craft a 5-man team using Honor of King's class system in order to make things fair. Every class has its specific role in the 5-on-5 match, so it's important that the Jujutsu sorcerers that get chosen all inhabit traits of their selected class. Luckily, it's pretty easy to do that with how diverse Jujutsu sorcery can be. For starters, when needing to select a tank for the team, there's no better choice for that role than Itadori Yuji, an extremely durable hunk of a man that's able to survive crashing through multiple buildings and bring down entire city blocks just from fighting all out in urban areas. By the end of the series, Yuji is capable of chaining Black Flash together so many times in a fight, you would think he was able to call the sparks of black at will. And through Yuji's connections with others, he also unlocks access to handy curse techniques that can make his combos even more deadly. Bursting blood from his death painting brothers, a low-grade dismantle attack born from Yuji's connection with Sukuna, and the ability to form a barrier for either simple domain or a real domain expansion with direct soul attacks. For a close quarters fighter that primarily relies on being able to take a massive amount of damage, recovering and then countering back even heavier, Yuji's an all-rounded tank compared to most Honor of King heroes. And speaking of all-rounded, Megumi Fushiguro is a character that, thanks to his 10 Shadows curse technique, has a large amount of utility and various different abilities to use, so it was quite difficult to restrict him into one specific role. Although, because each of Megumi's different shadows can all accomplish different tasks, such as Nue acting as an electric charge to stun others from afar, Max Elephant being a great way to create distance with its water spout, and Divine Dog Totality being a fast and dangerous way to attack opponents without putting himself in harm's way, I think the Mage class actually makes the most sense for Megumi. We've seen Megumi be able to react to high-speed opponents like Toji Fushiguro by mixing techniques like his bottomless well to throw Toji's attack off course. And considering Toji represents one of the highest peaks of Jujutsu Kaisen's speed, faster than a speeding bullet, and potentially by the end of the series approaching lightning-like speed, Megumi being able to dodge attacks like this prove his curse technique's versatility and make him a significant asset as a mage on the team. Maharaga also would make a pretty devastating ult. Nobara Kugisaki and her curse throwing nails make for an exceptional marksman on the Jujutsu Kaisen team, as Nobara has a seemingly endless stock of nails that can be infused with her cursed energy and launched at rocketing speed with the steel hammer she keeps on her at all times. This acts as a great melee weapon if someone gets too close, and an exceptional way to launch large-scale assaults of cursed nails from every direction. Because of her straw doll technique, once marking her enemies, Nobara can use this connection between the two souls to create resonance, an anomaly in Jujutsu where Nobara can share pain between the two parties or affect curse tools and objects by disrupting the curse energy within. Her most dangerous attack is Hairpin, where all the scattered nails spread throughout the arena over the course of the fight can essentially act like time bombs, exploding at the snap of Nobara's fingers and creating catastrophic explosions that can light up a large section of a forest. Meanwhile, Maki Zenin is the perfect choice for the Jujutsu team's assassin role. As the second coming of Toji Fushiguro, we've already established that a character like Maki represents the peak of Jujutsu Kaisen's speed, but even scarier, because of her heightened senses and extra sensory awarded to Maki through her heavenly restriction, she's a war god of incomparable proportions. Her eyes and body always being led to the most opportune spot for a kill shot or counter blow. This leads to Maki having what amounts to nigh precognition, responding to combat situations perfectly and even being on par with a Sukuna who had incarnated into his true four-armed form, being declared as the King of Curse's ultimate test to prove Jujutsu had surpassed humanity, implying that she herself was the peak of humans. With her cursed blade, the Soul Split Katana, Maki can attack an opponent's soul directly and create wounds that are impossible to heal for those that aren't already aware of their soul's boundaries. And considering she could survive multiple black flashes from Sukuna, unlike most assassins, she is not a glass cannon. But even if she or any of the other Jujutsu sorcerers on the team were to get hurt, they have their supportive role character to help them recover and survive the long drawn-out battles. And there's no better support role than Shoko Iori, the main doctor at Jujutsu Society and the ultimate master of reverse curse technique, a rare ability that allows Shoko to transform cursed energy into healing power that can make wounds and injuries regenerate. And that's your full 5-man squad, set to the specific parameters of the average Honor of Kings ranked match. In most cases, this would be a pretty stacked team, and they should have most games in their favor. But if you're familiar with even the tiniest bit of Honor of Kings lore, this actually might not be that close of a fight. For starters, the direct fighter class hero chosen to face Yuji is Oghren, who serves as the high priest over both life and death. Despite his intensive magic power, Oghren specializes in combat. Similar to Yuji, Ogren's powers and attacks will connect to his enemy's soul directly and cause massive damage to their essence. However, the catch is, the longer Yuji stays in close quarters, the more his soul energy gets drained, causing severe pain to Yuji's body while he's close to Oghren. And on top of this, Oghren can use his weapon to slash open direct paths to the afterlife, able to be used by Oghren to travel and shift to locations faster in battle. Oghren can also create magical barriers that debilitate and debuff enemies that touch them or fall within their range. However, Ogren's most powerful ability is the one that allows him to rip an opponent's soul from their body and transform it into a spirit counterpart that helps fight alongside Oghren, pitting Yuji up against his direct replica, while Oghren is also free to inflict his own damage to tip the scales of battle. And again, the closer Yuji is to Oghren and the longer the fight goes on, the more Yuji's soul will be drained and the higher chances he has of being double teamed by his spirit counterpart. Meanwhile, combating Megumi, the mage representative of Honor of Kings, is going to be Heino, heir of the Fate clan, master over time, and wielder of the Scepter of Fate. Similar to Fushiguro Megumi, close quarters combat is not foreign to him. Heino is able to swiftly battle opponents in both close and long range combat, and can even dodge bullets fired from mid-range, scaling Honor of King's speed to compare with a large chunk of Jujutsu Kaisen's cast. In battle, Heino uses his scepter as a weapon that can be thrown at opponents and slow their movements with time magic. He can also launch magical blasts of energy from afar, or access an alternate dimension made of fate and time, allowing Heino to witness future events and even interact with other timelines to some extent. Heino's one restriction is that in order to maximize his time magic to the fullest and wind reality back a full 5 seconds, he must stand still and make himself vulnerable. Once time is rewound, all objects, animate or inanimate, return to the state they were in 5 seconds ago, even regenerating any and all wounds on Heino and his allies. I'm just imagining Megumi going through all the effort to summon Maharaga as a last resort. Heino just rewinds time and then stabs Megumi in the chest right quick. Kugisaki Nobara is not going to have an easy matchup either, as her marksman opponent is going to be Long, the last of a race of ancient dragons in Honor of Kings that fights carrying the legacy of his ancestors on his back. Long is a great foil to Nobara, as just like her, his powers allow him to excel in both close and long-ranged fighting. As a master of the blade, Long is not only a skilled swordsman, but his abilities allow his multiple blades to be telekinetically manipulated through the air. Puppeteering the swords through the air and launching slash or stab attacks at his opponents from afar. And by conjuring the energy of his draconian ancestors, Long is able to imbue his weapons with elemental energy, channeling the Fire Dragon's flames for extra burn damage, the Water Dragon's torrent for health and stamina draining on his opponent, or the Wind Dragon in order to increase Long's movement speed and agility to overwhelm his opponent. And considering considering Long is capable of transforming himself into a full-fledged dragon and crashing that colossal form into his opponent, Nobara Kugisaki's fighting style might just be at a big disadvantage if she can't keep her distance. It is not looking good, and so far, the best matchup between these two series might be between the two assassins, weirdly enough, as Maki Zenin genuinely has a bit more going for her than her role opponent, the covert assassin of darkness, Lam. Much like Maki, Lam's claim to fame is his speed and combat prowess. Infamous in his land for being able to single-handedly dispatch large groups of opponents all at once, and combined with his twin double-sided daggers, Lam is a force to be reckoned with, trusted with high-profile political assassinations, among other jobs of espionage. However, despite Lam's guaranteed skill, he lacks the extra handicaps of precognition that Maki's heavenly restriction awards her. Lam's best combat attribute is his ability to shapeshift into a colossal shark body made of complete water, using this form to crash into opponents for maximum damage. The shark form and water manipulation can also be used in tandem with Lam's daggers, able to quickly dash or even teleport himself instantly to the location of where his daggers land, converting himself down to water and reappearing wherever the marked location of his dagger may be. However, with Maki's heightened battle sense, not even Lam's "We've got Flying Thunder God at home" ability will catch her off guard. And last but not least, the two supports going at it. Diadea, High Priestess of Good Fortune and Relationships, isn't exactly a fighter herself, but by nature of her participation in the Honor of Kings games, she's at least not a stranger to basic combat. Diadea can launch basic attacks of her own and even use her Threads of Fate to swing around and perform intense acrobatics to land her own attacks while dodging incoming opponent ones. And by making use of her wisps, Diadea can massively boost her allies' health and stats, while extremely debilitating the entire opponent team at the same time. Diadea has two colored wisps, red for her allies, specifically to enhance her teammates' skills and restore health when two or more of them fight closely together, and vice versa, Diadea's blue wisps can curse her enemies with speed debuffs and also sap health from them to cause continuous damage unless the two marked opponents get together and make contact to break the curse. There's no limit to the amount of wisps Diadea can summon, and her ultimate attack even releases a massive swarm of them, enough to flood the area and instantly increase her team's odds while simultaneously decreasing her opponents. Meanwhile, all Shoko can really do is heal someone when they get close and hope she stays out of harm's way the entire battle, because unlike Diadea, Shoko is not battle hardened or durable enough to be on the front lines. Which, yeah, even when scaling these characters off of their lore and actual actions, most of the Jujutsu Kaisen characters are just at an absolute disadvantage because, honestly, the Honor of Kings heroes are perfect counters for their fighting styles. But it really seems like for this video, I've gotta hand the loss to Jujutsu Kaisen, unless Maki can pick up the slack for everybody else. Thank you all so much for watching this far into the video, and thank you to Honor of Kings for sponsoring this video and letting me have the full freedom to make this video into anything I wanted. Go download Honor of Kings right now using the link in the description or pinned comment and jump right into the ongoing events to unlock the new exclusive Jujutsu Kaisen skins. Don't forget to hit that like button on your way out, and I'll see all of you guys in the next video. Peace.